Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. This is the second video of today, so it might go to crap, I have no idea. But it's July 24th, for anybody wondering. We're here in Northwest Missouri, and it's kind of, I guess I'll post it so it goes in order. So I think it should go, if this is right, Sunday would be the video that I posted about polling this brood, and the video that you're watching right now should have been posted Wednesday if we get our crap together. But basically, we pulled this brood today, and we pulled it from some of our doubles at our home yard, and then we brought them over here. And I talked about it on that video, but basically this is called a Hive Butler, and it just makes it a lot easier to transport stuff into other yards, which is what we did here. And it snaps on. These lids are ventilated, that way they don't cook in there. So I used this today to do that. And basically what I'm gonna do is move these frames over into these hives that were early summer splits that aren't doing too good, just because we kind of did that on purpose, and now I'm regretting it because I kind of thought that they would just be able to build up really fast, but they're not building up as fast as I want them to, and I want them to be strong going into winter. So we're gonna go ahead and add brood to them today. So I'm just gonna show you what that looks like. This one was the same, around the same time, and I'm not sure what happened, but they just kind of took off. And then I gave them a new box, and they really liked that. So they're taking off really well. That might be something to look at later in the year, maybe next year, in a couple of years. If they're still doing really good and still building up really fast like they did, that would be something to think about for grafting. And then there's that. So there's really nothing going on in here. And I might end up combining a few of these today just because I want them to be strong. I don't want to keep waiting for them to build up. I'm just gonna give them what they need. So I'm gonna go through them a little bit today and make sure that they have a laying queen, and then I'm gonna add brood to them. So I'll show you what that looks like. So there's like really no bees in here at all. Okay, here's a little frame of brood. Here's the queen. She's pretty bright. Typically, do we have a marker?
Yes.
Do we really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll come back and mark
I have
these.
all the things.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Which color?
What color would you like?
We just have full conversations on camera now. Okay, anyways, so there's really not very many bees in here. So what we're gonna do is give them a solid frame of brood to give them a boost. That way, I talked about this also, sometimes these hives like these just need a little bit of a pick-me-up, and that's a really cool car. Anyways, Dude, you hear that? Okay, focus. I told you it was the second video of the day, so what can you expect? This is a mess. Also, not to mention, Dad just left. Literally, we get here and he's like, I'm gonna leave and go get the mower. You think so? Like, look at it. You can't even see the hives. And he just completely left. Anyway, so we're just stranded here. Hopefully we have everything we need. All right, back to the video. Okay, so this is a really good frame of brood here. It's pretty solid here in the middle, and there's some food over here also. So I'm gonna slap this right in the middle. And then that should give them a little boost. I'm gonna start, I don't know why I started with this hive, but I did. I'm gonna start from over there and just go down the line and put one frame in each, and then if I end up having any leftovers, I'll come back through and give whichever one needs a little boost and give that to them. I might not give anything to this hive just because they're doing a lot better than all the other ones. So if I can even them out a little bit by skipping that one, I'll go ahead and do that today. I think that's really it. So we're gonna do that on these ones over here also. So pulling the brood was the longest part and probably the hardest part, just because all of our hives that I want to pull brood from, they have supers on them and they're really full right now. We're gonna go through and pull those hopefully pretty soon here and get all of them off. That way we can start splitting. But it's just kind of a pain to actually have to pull the brood. But once it's pulled, this part's really quick and easy. One of the reasons I'm making sure that they have a queen is because we did move these hives and they were in pronukes. Pronukes are pretty good about not moving around. The frames are pretty solid in there, and there's some little notches at the bottom and the top that make it to where they don't move. So I think they should be fine, but sometimes when you are moving hives over, you can smash the queen. So I'm just making sure that they still have queens in here and that she's laying. So this is all laid up, and there she is. Oh, that's the second time.
Wow.
So she looks about the same. They're both pretty bright.
Where is she?
She's right here. Sure wish I had a marker. Kidding. Okay, so I'm just pulling out these foundation frames because they don't need that in there for now. And then I'm just gonna pull one more frame of brood from out here and put it in there. One of the things about the Hive Butler that I talked about also is it's really nice because they don't move. So if I tip this, that frame's not gonna fall because they're solid in there. So they just make it a lot easier to do this kind of stuff.
We'll go ahead and share the link and all that.
Yeah, so I'll put the link and everything in the description if you want to check out their website. Hilco also sells them. So it might not look like a solid frame of brood, but this is a lot, and it's going to give them a good boost. And there's a good amount of food on there also. So it's going to do more than we probably think it will. It's really thick. We're also going to go ahead and feed them today. I don't have any supers on at this yard, so we'll do that. One little tip, I've talked about this before. When it comes to feeding in yards like this is the time of year that frame feeders are okay, in my opinion, at least where we're at, because it's still warm outside, so they're not gonna drown in it because it's cold or whatever happens. And what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and put some sticks in these frame feeders. So I'll go around doing that, and then what we can do is we put each feeder on the inside here. That way I can just pull the lid off like that, and then like that. So then I can just come through and dump it right in these four corners, and it just makes it a little bit more faster and efficient. So we'll put some sticks in there, that way they don't drown in it. I don't usually have too many problems with them drowning in it if they're strong, so they should be okay. I'm gonna make sure to pick up these foundations. Should I say something? I think I should. Make sure you pick up your foundation frames and they're not in the sun, or else what will happen is they'll start to fold in and they'll get all wonkety and messed up to where you can't use them anymore. Just note that.
Ask me how I know.
No, don't ask me how I know. Okay, let's check this one. So far so good. I spoke too soon. Oh. Wow. Doesn't look like there's anything in here. So we actually have a few more nukes left. Like just a couple. It looks like they absconded actually. There's no bees in here. Yeah, there's nothing in here. So they probably absconded. A lot of the times, if they die, there would just be a bunch of dead bees in the bottom, but there's nothing, like it's cleaned out. So I don't know what happened there, but there's nothing in there. I kind of expected that today, to find a few of those, just because they weren't very strong, and unfortunately we didn't get to them fast enough. So what I'll do, I'm just gonna put that lid upside down, just so I know after we're done to come back and clean that up. So I'll probably come over whenever I get to it and add one more, replace it basically. I'll probably put just a pro nuke on top of the lid here, and then I'll come back the next day, because you have to do it at night whenever you're moving them. I'll come back the next day and I'll put them into this 10 frame. That's probably what's gonna happen. I wanna try to keep this yard as full as we can. We have 4 pallets over here, which is 16, I believe. Well, now 15. This one looks all right, but they're just not super strong. I'm gonna pull out this foundation frame and then put a brood frame in. And then, like I said, we'll come through and feed them just to give them another thing. But I am gonna pull out a frame and see if they've got a queen. Okay, we've got a small patch of brood, and there's a bunch of eggs. And there she is.
Oh.
Yeah, except for that one. Perfect, so we'll go ahead and put her back in. Like I said, it's pretty fast now. especially because there's not like a ton of frames that they're on. They're only on at least like 4 of them, so you only have to check those 4, which also makes it faster. So I have another kind of Hive Butler, but I only have one, what's that called? Ventilated lid. The other one is a solid lid, and I didn't want to use a solid lid on basically a hive. So I went ahead and used some Pro Nukes because Pro Nukes have a ventilated option right here. So I just kept it unvented. And then if you do keep them in the back of a truck when you're moving them, you can probably keep the entrance open. They'll come out a little bit, but it's really important when it's hot like this to make sure that they're not going to overheat in there. So anyways, because I only had one Hive Butler, I went ahead and used some Pro Nukes today. So you don't have to use the Hive Butler. You can just use really any kind of box. But if it has a little bit of ventilation, that's what you would want. So maybe a screened in bottom board, but you would just have to use tape to close up the front of it. So here's a good frame. I'm going to take off this comb on the bottom, just because I want to try and keep it clean. Oh, of course it fell directly into the Pro Nuke. I guess that's better than on the ground. Then we'll just slide this in here and they'll be good to go. That's it. So we're just going to keep doing that today, and then I'll come back probably in a little while. They'll be set for a while now, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of a fall flow here. Well, not very soon, but hopefully there'll be a little bit of something out there for them. But I'm just going to do that today. I'm going to go through the rest of them, give them a little boost. Sometimes it's just what you have to do. It sucks because it feels like you're pulling from your production hives, but that's why it's important to have some type of resource hive for these kinds of things, because those, I think I pulled maybe like from 2 or 3 hives. It was like 3 hives. Those 3 hives are helping out 16. So you got to look at it in the long run that it's going to help them out a lot. But that's all we're doing today, so I think that's it. Thanks for watching today's video. Follow along more bee adventures and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.